So what you might hear people who fast TV or social media, um, and they may say, I've fasted TV, or I'm taking a social media fast, a break from social media. But biblical fasting almost always involves a break from food. And I think one of the ways to understand fasting is to understand hunger. So if feeling physical hunger really is a part of the fasting experience, because it reminds us of our spiritual hunger and our thirst for God's presence, His power, and His intervention. Just to give you some science on hunger. One of the ways our body responds to hunger and how it responds to hunger is a concept of when our bodies are emptied. That's kind of a simple term for it, but that's when your normal blood sugar. Well, actually, your normal blood sugar after a meal ranges from about 80 to 120 milligrams per deciliter of blood. You didn't think you'd be hearing about that on this podcast, but that's what normal blood sugar is. And now that's going to be different for someone that might be diabetic or hypoglycemic. But when the blood sugar drops below 80 milligrams per 100 deciliters, the hypothalamus in the brain senses that. It sends messages through your hormones, your nervous system to the stomach to produce hydrochloric acid. And that's what produces the empty, hollow hunger sensation. And so fasting is a way of creating that sensation in the body. And I think, again, that's part of the fasting process, because fasting brings us in touch with our hunger for God by using our physical hunger. Fasting is an opportunity to lay down our physical hunger and feed our spiritual hunger. And so those feelings of physical hunger and fasting, again, they can remind us of what our soul needs, the bread of Christ's word, the living waters of the Holy Spirit. And Jesus even said, when the disciples came to him in Samaria, he found that he was talking to the woman at the well. They were shocked by that, and then they thought he might be hungry. And he responded to them by saying, my food is to do the will of him who sent me. I think fasting helps narrow our focus on those kinds of things. So when we take action in fasting, what we're saying is, I'm going to set aside the satisfying of my physical hunger and experience that for a short time, and filling up our spiritual hunger through prayer, devotions, personal worship, extended Bible reading, to